Hello everyone, welcome back to the World of Football. I found Thomas here at the protest. How are you, my friend? Yeah, good. Right. I just want to ask you, do you agree with the protest that has just happened? Do you agree?
It's tricky because for me personally, I think that the blame should be more on the sporting directors for the way that they've planned the squad, the way that they've built the squad. For me, I think that, the way that they've built the squad of the past, this January window, the last summer window, the one before that, they were saying to us, okay, judge us after the fourth window.
Yeah.
It's been probably the fifth or the sixth window,
Exactly,
and we still don't have a striker, goalkeeper, good striker, back up in midfield. So for me, it's about the squad planning.
Even the defence has been questioned.
Yeah, I agree.
We've got questions everywhere, and we've spent how much?
I know,
1.5 billion or something like that.
And we had to
disgrace.
spend that. I understand, and I think the owners have shown good ambition in the way that they've spent it. But I think that the way that they've spent it has just not been good enough. And also, I just feel like we can't go from we've got our Chelsea back when we beat Southampton 5-1 to we want our Chelsea back. And I think for me, that's the bit where there's a bit of conflict between the supporters, because it kind of feels like these protests are half-hearted, because no one really knows what they're protesting for. Is it for the bad results? Is it for the sporting directors? Is it the owners? Is it Bowley? Is it Rico, Clear Lake, all of that? So I think that it's for me it's hard to judge, and I agree with some concepts of it, because for me, the way that they've assembled the squad, we would be doing better if we had a better squad. We would have gotten the results, and no one would have talked about this protest if we weren't getting the results. And you realise with the same team, same manager, and I think that we would have never had this protest when we won 5-1 against Southampton, when we drew 0-0 Everton. So it's all about the bad results, and that fuels the anger for the fans. But for me, they should see these problems before we start losing games.
Yeah, exactly. I just wanted to ask you as well, the model. What do you think of it? Because genuinely, I've seen people for it and some people against it. I'm mostly against it, but what do you think?
For me personally, that it's clear that their model is get players young. We're not going to sign your 100 million Lukaku's anymore.
Exactly.
We're not going to sign.
And I don't have a problem with getting young players.
I agree.
But it's just the fact they don't want to get experience into our team.
I agree.
They've completely thrown experience out the window. And that's what I don't like about this model.
And also the fact that they've not addressed the key areas that need to be addressed. And for me, like you said, there's no problem bringing in young players. If you look at like a PSG, very young players doing really well. They do have a bit of experience in it.
Marquinhos,
Vitinha, a bit more experience. But for me personally, I feel like you can go with this model, but they need to stop buying the players just to flip on for profit, because we need the players
You can't do that solely, can you?
Exactly.
You can't fully only pick up those young players.
Exactly, and I feel like the best teams have young players with some experience in there. And for me, you can't go winning titles, you can't go on top 4 runs where you don't have a good spine. And our spine is not there. And why after 1.5 billion spent, are we lacking depth? Why?
It's quite an untested method as well. Yeah. Not many teams of our size, with our spending power, with our pull, have ever tried to do that. No one's ever really tried to do that. So it's a new style of approach, which clearly isn't 100% working yet, necessarily.
I agree, and I feel like also you're gonna pick up your Palmers, let's say, or your Estevals, where those sort of players are gonna do well for the club, because
there's always going to be one that just blows up.
If you get 5 young players, one of them's going to do well. But for me, it's about getting the right recruitment. If you look at City or if you look at Liverpool, they won't always recruit, but when they recruit, it's bloody spot on. You know what I'm saying?
They know what to do. And
exactly.
One final question before I go on this one out. Do you think we will get Champions League football? Because if I'm honest, we made the squad worse in January. We got rid of Felix on loan. We got rid of Disassi on loan. That I'm not too fussed about, because let's be honest, it's Disassi. And
we didn't bring any backup in.
Exactly. We only signed one player, and that was Matthias Amugu, who's probably going to be flipped to Strasbourg on loan next season.
Yeah.
So do you think we're going to get Champions League football? Because I honestly think we don't.
It's very hard, because if the 5th place becomes a Champions League spot, then we have a potential chance.
Yeah, we do have a chance there, because to be fair, I've seen like the next 2 fixtures from like teams in and around where we are. They're playing like top teams, and we're playing Southampton, Leicester.
Yeah.
So we've got a bit of an advantage there. But
We do
just
have
need to
very
hope-
tough
yeah.
fixtures after that. So
Yeah, after that as well.
we
yeah.
need to make sure that we pick up points Southampton and Leicester, because then if we don't, then and just small decisions that we didn't strengthen in the January transfer window, that made me feel like less chance of getting top 4. So yeah, so I feel like we'll get 5th or 6th, but I'm not entirely convinced at the moment. So yeah,
Thank you very much, Thomas.
Thank you, Yusuf.
Yeah, thank you very
Nice
much.
one.
And we'll see you soon back on the world of football.